So go to Firebase, create an account with the same email address that you use for your analytics, create a project, add a project name, hit confirm. Be sure you toggle on the Enable Google Analytics for this project option, hit continue. Now select the analytics account from the dropdown you're adding this new GA4 property to. Be sure to select the automatically create a new property option from the dropdown on this page. Hit create project. Once it's done, hit continue. Go back over to analytics, refresh your page, select your new property. Now set up your data stream. Select web, enter your domain, name your stream, hit create stream. When you get to the page called web stream details, go to GTM, click create account. Name the account, select country, add container name, select web as platform, hit create. Read the novel, call your lawyer, check the box, hit yes. Copy and paste your new container tags directly under your existing tags on your site. So wherever you have your old container tags, that's where you put these, but just below. Google has documentation on this if you're bored and want to read some technical docs, but this is what it should look like. And I'll include a link to this page in the description. Okay, go back to GTM, click on tags, create a new tag, select the GA4 configuration tag as its type, enter your configuration ID from analytics, which can be found here in your data stream details. Save and publish. Now connect your tag in analytics in the web stream details section by adding your configuration ID and a nickname. Okay, that's it. So now we want to test it. In GTM, hit preview. You will see your tag, and that's it. Once you get your basic setup configured, it's time to start building out your analytics implementation to meet your exact needs. So to do that, let's take a closer look at exactly what data is being sent, how it's being sent, and how we can control it. Open a page in your browser, inspect that page, select the application tab in DevTools, select the cookies for your site. You'll see two cookies, one named _GA and the other with the same prefix but with your measurement ID attached like you see here. Now hop over to your network tab in DevTools, refresh that page, and be sure you're looking at all requests and type collect into the search field. If you're running multiple containers, you may see a couple things here. Find the one that has TID equals G hyphen your measurement ID near the front of the URL and select it. Again, you find your measurement ID in analytics in your data stream details. Select headers in the column to the right. This is where we can dig into the information being passed to GA4. Scroll down to the section called Query String Parameters. You'll see a bunch of parameters and their values. I'm going to quickly show a legend of what each variable means. You can also visit my site and read the detailed posts on this topic by Googling setup GA4 Nick or clicking the link in the description. What I will go into a little more is the data just below in the section called Request Payload. This is where you can see your events and their parameters. In this example, we see two events, a page view and a scroll. The EN equals stands for event name. And if there are parameters being passed for that event, you'll see an EPN dot parameter name equals, where EPN stands for event parameter name. So in this case, the page view has no additional parameters besides what's in the configuration parameters section above. But the scroll event has an additional parameter of percent scrolled with a value of 90, which is 90%. When you create events in GA4, this is where you can see what data is being sent. There are three types of events you can send in GA4. Automatic events that GA4 collects automatically. This is what this section in setup was all about, and these are the events that it collects automatically. Number two, the recommended events are events GA4 thinks you might need, but you'll need to set up yourself. It's important to remember that even though you can create all custom events and ignore recommended events entirely, since Google is giving you these, it's very likely that they will be used to populate specialized reports in the future. So if at all possible, use these events before creating any custom events. Also keep in mind that recommended events will have expected parameters. Sometimes they are required and sometimes they are optional. You can see the list of recommended events here, but you should visit the link to this page, which is in the description, to get familiar with these events and their parameters. Number 3, custom events. Custom events are events that you create yourself. They can be anything and pass whatever parameters you want. Okay, so let's walk through a couple examples of how we can create our own events. Hop over to GTM, open the account you created for GA4, create a tag, name your tag. We'll call ours Let's See. Select GA4 event tag configuration as the tag type. Name your event. We'll call ours Let's_See. This is what you'll see the event called in GA4 in your data. Add a new event parameter. Name it something. We'll call ours did_it_work. Give it a value. We'll give ours yes. Now add another parameter. This time we're passing a special parameter called Debug Mode. Set this value to true. The Debug Mode parameter allows your data to be viewed in the debug panel in GA4 so that we can see exactly what is being sent and work out any bugs you might have. Set a trigger for the tag to fire on window loaded. Save the tag and publish. Hop back over to GTM and enter preview mode. And toggle off the debug mode box so you can be sure that your tag goes into debug mode because of your parameter and not this setting. Hit start. In the browser window that pops up, right click and hit inspect. Select the network tab, refresh the page, enter collect into the search field, find the URL with your measurement ID in it and select it. Select header column on the right side and scroll to the bottom. In the query strings parameter section, you can see the event we created called Let's See. We can also see the 2 parameters we sent called did it work with a value of yes and debug mode with a value of true. That's exactly what we were expecting. Now hop over to analytics and enter the debug section. We can see our custom event and all the parameters we gave it. Perfect. That's a custom event. Obviously, your actual custom event parameters will need to pass meaningful data, which you'll have to set up by creating custom variables, and will depend entirely on what you want to achieve. For example, we could create an event tag that fires on any 404 page. We can call the event name 404. It can have a parameter of page URL, so we know which page is a 404, and also another parameter of page refer, so we know how the user got there. That's just one example. In the last type, let's create a recommended event, which looks like this. There's a link for this page in the description. So let's create one. Let's do earn virtual currency. Hop over to GTM, create a new tag. Let's name it earn virtual currency and select GA4 event as the type. Name the event earn virtual currency. Don't misspell it, it needs to be exact. Let's give it some parameters. What does Google recommend for parameters in this case? Virtual currency name and value. Again, don't misspell these, they need to be exact. Let's give virtual currency name a value of Bitcoin, and let's give it a value of 18293. And add a parameter of debug mode as true so we can look at it in debug mode in GA4. Now, anytime this tag fires, it will send an event called earn virtual currency with parameters of virtual currency name and value. Set up a trigger to fire the tag. Let's create a custom event called virtual currency trigger, and event also called virtual currency trigger. You can call this whatever you want in your implementation. Save and publish your tag. Refresh your preview mode in GTM. Now you can see the tag we created is there, but it hasn't fired. That's what we expected. Now inspect the preview page. Go to console and enter window.datalayer.push event virtual currency trigger, just like you see here. And hit enter. Go back to GTM preview, and now we can see our tag has fired. we can see all the properties of that tag and its parameters. We can see what is being sent to analytics by pushing this button. This will show you all the additional parameters that go along with it. And you'll notice that what you see here will match what you saw in the network panel in your DevTools if you do want to compare. Now hop over to GA4 and go into debug mode. We can see the event and the parameters came through properly. Remember, these recommended events don't really have any special reports that they get used in yet, but they most certainly will in the future. Now you know how to set up GA4 and how to start generating your data. This was just a broad overview, so if you want to go into more detail, just Google set up GA4 Nick or click the link in the description. That article goes into more depth and includes recommended settings for all other parts of your GA4 installation that we didn't get a chance to go into in this video. I really do recommend giving it a read if you want to get the most out of your GA4 setup. I really do appreciate you sticking around to the end and ask that you just hit the like button below. It really does make a difference. And feel free to subscribe if you want to get alerted next time I release a new video. Bye.